Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have the Star Wars The Black Series Target exclusive Poe Dameron and the Riot Control Stormtrooper. So yeah, so overall this was a set that I was very much looking forward to, mainly for the Riot Control Stormtrooper. The idea of a Riot Stormtrooper has always been something that when I first heard about I thought it was going to be awesome. And I'm very happy that we do have these new Stormtroopers for the movie. And then the Poe Dameron was one that I did want to get. The Poe Dameron happened to surprise me, though, in many ways. So yeah. So overall, the packaging is your standard Black Series packaging. It's just elongated to fit the two figures instead of the normal one, of course. So, and then there's no sticker on it that says it's a Target exclusive. I'm not quite sure why, but it is a Target exclusive. I know in other countries or other places, it's not Target exclusive. It's an exclusive to another store, and maybe that's why there's no sticker on it, but I do find it weird that there isn't any Target identification sticker on the box here, but that's just something minor, and it's not really a problem, it's just something to notice. So overall, let's talk about these figures. So let's start it off with the Riot Control Stormtrooper. This is the figure that is basically, it's the same exact figure as your regular Stormtrooper, and it comes with the same accessories. It just comes with two extra accessories. You get the shield and then the baton. So overall, pretty standard, but what's nice is, you know, it's not like a figure or character that if you have the original one already, you don't need this one because they're an army building character. It's fine to actually have multiple of them, so it's not an issue if you already have one. So overall, he does come with the two standard guns. Let me just show you that. So if you wanted to, you could easily just make him a normal Stormtrooper. He comes with the larger, you know, regular blaster, as well as the pistol, as you can see. He comes with both of them, which is quite nice. I'm actually surprised on that. They could have easily just given him the Riot gear and called it a day, but they did actually decide to give him the regular accessories as well, which is nice. So overall, the Stormtrooper itself is quite good. Just going over the actual figure really fast before we talk about what's unique about him. Figure, I've talked about it, you know, before in my review of the Stormtroopers. Overall, it's a very nice sculpt. I do like it a lot. Hindrance on the elbows, however, it's not a big deal, but overall, they've done it nice. They've done a nice glossy white to showcase the armor, which is really cool. The only problem on mine is that, as you can see on the side there, he does have a little bit of a pink mark on him. I'm not quite sure if that is his base color. That's the base color of the plastic, although it's a very odd color, so I'm not quite sure if that is actually just an extra piece of paint that was spotted on him, or if it is actually the white that has chipped off. I'm not quite sure which. It is unfortunate, and the next time I think about it and I have some white paint, I will just easily cover that up, but it is something to notice. It's something quite odd, you know, it's an odd color to see, which is a shame, and it's noticeable too because it's on white, so the pink is just, it kind of stands out, which is really annoying. That is, of course, just a flaw that is exclusive to mine. Articulation is quite good. You can look up, quite far, down, and side to side. Of course, ball hinge neck. You've got ball hinge shoulders with a hinge swivel elbow. The hinge doesn't move very far, which is unfortunate. It moves a little bit less than 90 degrees. Then he has a hinge swivel wrist. Ball jointed upper torso, which works quite well. You got ball jointed thighs, a little bit hindered by the pouches on the side. You've got a swivel at the thigh, which is very nice, and it is attached to this piece of armor so that it doesn't hinder the integrity of the armor look. He's got double hinge knees and a hinge pivoting ankle. So overall, our course articulation is the standard Black Series. Wish that he had double hinge elbows instead of the hinge swivel, but what are you going to do? The new things about him are his Riot shield. Overall, I like the Riot shield look a lot. I think it looks quite nice. It's kind of got that it's obviously, it's a little bit better than just a square. It does have the angled edges, which I think is cool. And then you do have the flat part up here that kind of goes down on either side, as you can see, so it's not completely straight as well. I think it does look quite nice. You've got these kind of bolts on it. Not quite sure what that's for, if this shield actually will have maybe a little bit of electricity to go along with his baton that has electricity. Not quite sure based on that, though. And you do have a little window. It is completely painted gray. I'm not quite sure if that's how it's going to be in the movie. So far, we haven't seen a single Riot Trooper with their shield in the movie in any of the trailers. So I'm not quite sure if this is actually supposed to be a clear part and the gray is just supposed to be the edging or not. Overall, something that I didn't actually notice, but Toys 210 did notice this, and I do see it now. There is a bit of a dent in the middle of the shield there, that is basically where the arm piece goes. So overall, it's not super severe. Like, now noticing it, I do actually see it. However, it's just nothing. It didn't bother me when I first had it, and it doesn't seem to be that noticeable or severe or annoying. So just personally, I don't think that's a big deal on mine. Originally, when you do get this, the shield will be further down, and this strap will be completely over this this joint. It is kind of annoying. You do kind of have to get something in there to kind of pry up the strap so that you can get it to fit over his armor there. So, but once you do that, you can free up the joint, of course, so you don't have to worry. It is just a bit of a pain to kind of move the shield down. As well as his baton, as you can see, is quite nice. It looks good. It's got a silver handle with a black backing on it, and then it has those red details and silver details in the actual base of the baton. Overall, it looks really cool. Wish it extended like it does in the movie. Unfortunately, this one does not, though, and he doesn't hold it very well because his hands are the normal hands with the normal stormtroopers, so they're sculpted for holding the guns, which have a wider handle, which is why he doesn't hold it very well. He's gonna hold it much better on this arm, so if you wanted to, you could switch the shield over and then switch the baton over. On mine, though, I'm just using a simple, very small, clear rubber band. Don't know if you can even see it. He's kind of focusing on the stuff in the back. There you go. Just use a little rubber band there. Keeps it in place, and no issues whatsoever, actually. Overall, it does look really nice, and it's a really cool accessory. So overall, I do like the Stormtrooper a lot. I think that the Riot Control Troopers are going to be just badass in the movie. And, you know, the only time that we see them in the trailers is in the TV spot where one of them, without their shield, is fighting Finn. You know, I mean, one Stormtrooper is going up against a Jedi and seemingly winning, when we do see another shot of him in the trailer where it looks like he's standing over somebody and he's about to hit him. Obviously, he gets blown up, but still, it looks like he might actually win the fight with Finn, but then something else will save Finn before the Riot Trooper can actually like kill him or electrocute him again. But overall, I think the Riot Trooper, it's a very nice figure. Of course, it's a figure that you basically already know. It's a good figure, though, especially since it's such a unique character, and a character that I have a feeling is going to be pretty awesome in the movie. Going over Poe Dameron, this is his not Rebel, they're not called Resistance, that's it. It's in his Resistance garb here. As you can see, this was a figure that I wasn't really looking forward to. I'm not like super into Poe Dameron to begin with, and I think this is his less interesting costume as opposed to the X-Wing version. But what surprised me, what I thought this was going to be, because I didn't really pay too much attention to it, so I didn't compare them, but I thought that this was going to be a repaint of Finn with the head of Poe Dameron from the X-Wing pilot, and then he come with the same helmet. To my surprise, that is not the case, though. This is actually a completely new figure. It is not Finn whatsoever. They didn't use a single piece from Finn, unless they used the arms, but I don't think they used the arms at all. And then, to my surprise, it has a completely new sculpted head sculpt, as opposed to the X-Wing pilot one. I'm just taking the helmet off of that pilot, Poe Dameron. As you can see, completely different head sculpts, and boy, is there a difference. Let's get you a nice close-up shot there. As you can see, you've got a really sleepy, kind of derpy looking X-Wing Poe Dameron face, and then you have one that's much better, one that much more resembles the actor. Even the hair color is different on them. So I'm pretty surprised that they actually did re-sculpt the head sculpt. I have a feeling that they did that because they realized the X-Wing pilot one looked really bad, because otherwise they should have just used the same head. It would have been easy for them. Nobody would really have complained, but I am pretty happy that they did decide to actually re-sculpt the head in general. And if you wanted to, you could easily just switch their heads. So if you wanted the X-Wing pilot with the better head sculpt, you can totally do that. For me, I'm not going to do that because I have the X-Wing pilot one with the helmet on, so it doesn't really matter. While this one I don't leave with the helmet on, so you can see that good head sculpt. So overall, I am very surprised and pleased that his face sculpt is completely new, and it's much better too. Going over the actual costume, as you can see, you've got the undershirt on, which is kind of a lighter green, almost like a cream green, as well as a light brown jacket. Does have a lot of good wash into it. As you can see, you do have some shading in the shirt as well as on the jacket. Very heavy on the jacket, actually. It gives it a really realistic and nice look. You do have some good texture in all the wrinkles as well as some of the detail on the suit itself. And then on the pants, the same amount of detail goes through. The coloring, I'm not a huge fan of. He's got this kind of light brown pants, which look fine, but instead of actually having like a wash in it like they did with the jacket, they instead just gave it kind of a greenish yellow kind of shading around the knees, and I guess that's to show that he is kneeling down in a kind of maybe jungle environment, which is giving his pants that look. It just doesn't look very natural. It looks very strange. If they shaded in some black with that, it might look a little bit more realistic, but instead it kind of just looks odd. And then he has black boots. The gun, again, I'm pretty sure this is a different gun than Finn. It might be the same, but I do think it's different. Overall, it looks nice. It's silver, and it does have some brown wash into it. I'm not sure if that brown is actually supposed to be paint on the gun or if it is supposed to be weathering. If it's weathering, it's done a little bit too heavy in a confined space. However, if it's supposed to be the paint on the gun, it's not done heavy enough. So either way, I don't think it looks great in my opinion, but I still think it looks good. It's a very minor complaint. Unfortunately, it is kind of warped from the packaging. So that is unfortunate, but again, it's not something that is too uncommon, which is unfortunate actually. Going over articulation is pretty good. He's got a ball hinge neck, or it might just actually be a straight up ball joint. No, there is a hinge in there. Just the hinge doesn't work too well if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Oh no, sorry, it's just really stiff. You can get him to look down. Let's see about looking up. Looking up, he really doesn't look up too far. That's about as good as you're going to get, which is slightly up, but nothing too special. He's got a ball hinge shoulder with the right arm being able to sit closer to his body. However, his left arm does seem to kind of want to be out a bit more. You can kind of push it in, but then it kind of goes back to being out a bit. But it's not too bad, and it is much better than than Finn. Finn, his arms don't want to stay to his side at all. They kind of want to bulge out, which does look a little odd. He's got a ball-jointed torso. However, it is mainly just a swivel. He's got just ball-jointed thighs with a thigh swivel, double hinge knees, and a hinge pivoting ankle, as well as hinge swivel elbows and hinge swivel wrists. So overall articulation is quite good. Of course, still lacking that double hinge elbow that we all are craving for. I did also see a review where they said that he couldn't hold his gun with two hands, and I would say that's not the case. He does. As you can see, his hand on the other side is quite stiff actually. His fingers are. They're close together, so it is unfortunate. You kind of have to be a little bit rough with the fingers to get them to spread out to actually hold the gun. But as you can see, he holds it quite nicely. You can't really like aim with it, but he can still hold it with two hands pretty good, and you can mess around with it to get some more natural looks or have him holding it down a little bit more. But overall, you can get him to hold the gun with two hands. So overall, this is a really nice set in general. I think the Riot Trooper is going to be a really cool trooper in the movie, and even if you didn't want him as the Riot Trooper, you can easily just make him a regular trooper, which is no matter how many troopers you have, it's going to be fine, because you can have as many as you want, and you'll never have as many as the movie does. So it really doesn't matter if you have a bunch of them. And then the Poe Dameron is quite a good figure. Now, if you have the Stormtrooper already and you really don't want to army build them, and then you have the X-Wing Poe Dameron, other than the face sculpts, that Poe Dameron is a really nice one anyway. So overall, I would say that this is unnecessary. However, if you want more troopers, and even if you have the X-Wing Poe Dameron, but you want a little bit of a different look with him or something, then this is a great set to get. And overall, it's quite nice. You can get this for $40 at Target. However, they have had it. They've done two sales in the past since this has been released, where they had 20% off of everything. So you could have gotten it for 20% off in the past, as well as I got this one for 25% off. when they released their toy catalog, that was one of the coupons in it, and right before that coupon was going to expire, this went on in stock on their website, so I was able to use it, and they were also doing free shipping, so I got this for like 30 bucks. 32 with tax, I believe, so I got it for a great price. I wouldn't recommend paying full price with it, because in the past they have done sales that can't even speak, will allow you to get it for cheaper. So I would just recommend waiting for another sale or another coupon, because I'm sure since they've done it before, they'll do it again. So you should be able to get this one on a discount. I wouldn't recommend paying full price for it. However, I don't think full price is overpriced. I think this is, a fine set for the full retail price. I just think that if you do want to get it for a little bit cheaper, you will be able to if you have some patience. So there you go. That's my review of the Star Wars The Black Series Target exclusive Poe Dameron in his Resistance outfit, as well as the Riot Control Stormtrooper. Thanks so much for watching. Really quickly, guys, I forgot to mention that Poe Dameron does actually come with a helmet. It is the exact same helmet that comes with the X-Wing pilot one. It's just painted in a different color scheme. Overall, it looks really cool. You can fit it on him quite nicely, as you can see. And then with the yellow paint, you can actually see his eyes through it because it is translucent. Looks quite good. You can see his hair from the back, which is a shame, but either way, I mean, if you're looking at him from the front, leave it like this, and if for some reason you have him in a pose where he's got to be like this, then just angle it up and it won't be an issue. So either way, I don't think it's a bad thing. Overall, I like this look better on the X-Wing pilot. I think that the X-Wing pilot Poe Dameron, out of the two helmets, I think that this one looks better on him just because he has some white detailing on the vest. So I think that the white helmet looks cooler. However, in the scenes in the trailer that we've seen, he does seem to wear the black helmet. So I'm not quite sure if this one's accurate. However, it is nice that he does include it.